we are back. Me and my boy Tim and my other guest, Everett. Everett Jenkins is here. Oh, crap. I'm an idiot. Hold up. The volume. Everett.
Hold on now. All right, can you hear me?
My boy!
Right,
Here.
cool.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yep, I can hear you perfectly.
Oh my God, we are in here. Tim, this is Everett. Everett, this is Tim.
Hey man,
Nice to meet you.
This is my other this is my co-host. This is the guy this is the Kengan guy I talk about.
Okay.
So we're live. So we're gonna put the theme song. Let's get the music going. Oh my God. We are live, y'all. What is up? We are back with the Kengan Ashura Part 3 with my boy Tim Barrie and my other co-host, Everett Jenkins. Everett, he's here. I finally got him. He's in like Flynn. We're going to talk about some Kengan. And I'm glad y'all joining us today in the chat. And everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell me how we did. Hope you like the live stream of the Kengan review. And we're going to talk about the rest of these Kengan fights for some of these matches. And then we're going forward from there. So we got a lot to talk about. A lot of dope moments. A lot of trash moments. But we got a lot of good stuff to talk about, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoy. And, come on in and all that good stuff. And let's get it. So we are starting from... So Everett, I had caught Everett up where he's at, because he's the new guy reading, Tim.
Yeah,
Everett, he's the new guy.
Yeah, I got you.
Cool. So we started from when Rihito lost to the Devil Lance.
Man, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, he did not stand a chance at all.
Got smoked.
Yeah,
that was horrible. I felt bad, man.
My favorite moment from that fight is like near the end where Rihito thought he was starting to like shift it into his favor, and then Kuroki immediately turned it around. It's like, you can't even see that I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, just walloped him, man. It was bad.
It
was embarrassing.
Yeah.
Horrible. Like, come on, bro. And then he wasn't even using the Kaiwan style. He was toying with him, like when he tripped him.
Well, the worst part about it, like for me, was when I'm watching the anime because I hadn't read the manga, and I see Kuroki Gensai come out, and I'm like, oh damn, rock. Oh no, and he did too, man. He got, oh geez, that was bad.
Man, very horrible. So we know Rihito lost, and he's gonna be reeling back from that. So we're going to the next fight. We're going to the next fight. The next fight is my boy, my Aikido boy, the surfer dude who sounds like he's high. My boy, the floating cloud, Sen Hatsumi from Nogi Corporation versus
Takayuki Chiba.
Yeah.
The actor. I'm not gonna lie, he would have been dope if he really would have trained. Because when the fight started, Tim, you take it from this one. Take it.
Man, so from my perspective, I didn't like Sen Hatsumi that much when we first were introduced to him. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what in the world's going on? But he gets out there, he's in the arena, and then this old man comes out. And then all of a sudden you realize it's not an old man. He shifts form into presumably what is his like real body, real life form, which is Chiba. And I'm like, okay, so what are we about to see here? Because we really haven't seen Hatsumi fight up to this point. He was just kind of messing around with Tokita in Nogi's office,
and he got shooken up. Hatsumi was going to turn up if they let the fight go on any further. Hatsumi was going to turn up.
Yeah, but with Chiba, I was kind of just like, this is going to be one of two things. This is either going to be a really, really tough fight, or this is going to be one of those one hit and done things. And man, it was too. This was not even a fight.
No,
not really.
That was funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the fight, I like how he like transformed into Okubo and he transformed into Cowline. So the announcer dude is
Bruce
the GOAT.
Lee.
Yo, when he got to the fight, so it was dope because I was like, he explained his power. I said, so you can copy people. Hatsumi was like, 3-1 already. You about to be trash. Lucky he would have been dope because you can copy anybody. Then the announcer dude, whoever the announcer dude is, GOAT, he was like, well, Taki, he's like, Chiba lied twice.
Yeah.
It was like, so he can copy somebody, but if you want to copy somebody, be good at it.
Yeah.
Right.
He can copy them, but he can't copy the
inherited ability.
Yeah. So like he can't copy Rihito's Razor's Edge. He can't copy like the advance and things like that.
Yeah.
If it's like a technique, he can use it, but he has to practice it in order for it to be used at its fullest potential.
And what his potential was, it was half-assed.
Yeah.
Like if he was stronger, that'd make more sense. Like if he was like, what? Because he was like, yeah, he can't copy inherited abilities, and then like he said, like Everett said, he has to be at that level for the actual thing to work, and then he's got to actually look at the fighter and take an analysis of the opponent's fighting style for him to actually master it. And then the fight was over quick when they go to the next scene. I know you see his arm fall, in the blood, and then fight over. I'm like, damn.
That fight took all of 26 seconds.
Yeah, because if I remember right, doesn't the announcer just basically be like, okay, let's back up and let's just see what happens?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hatsumi turned up. I like when Chiba started out and he goes for it and just trying to throw Hatsumi off. The Bruce Lee cameo thing was cool. So I'm like, you got to watch Bruce Lee fight?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Which actually, I don't know if you guys would know this. I didn't know this, but apparently I read this the other day. Bruce Lee was so fast in real life, they had to slow down his movies so that the camera, so the audience could perceive what he was doing. That's how fast that dude was. I read that. I was like, that's incredible.
Yeah, Bruce Lee ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Lee's no joke.
Yeah.
So the cameo thing with Bruce Lee, I was like, oh, he mimic Bruce Lee. But then when it got to the grapple, and you see his that, and he got all close to Hatsumi, and Hatsumi was like, "What you doing, bro?" And then turned his wrist, and I was like, "Oh
yeah," because he shifts into an Aikido style, and of course that's what Hatsumi's whole style is based on.
Yeah, he's an Aikido master.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Damn, bro.
That's it. And then I can't remember the name of the technique that he uses.
It was just like I guess like some type of grip, some type of grapple, not grapple, but basically some type of hold. And he thought, I guess he didn't know about Hatsume's style, and it's Hatsume's personal style. Mm-hmm. So that made it even worse.
Yeah.
Dude, he took a three punch move to the face.
Yeah, I mean, Hatsumi,
it was to the forehead, to the throat, and to the chest, I think.
No,
it was forehead, bridge, and then the throat.
Yeah, like his nose. I was like under his nose. I said, bro, you just got beamed.
Yeah, it was bad.
Whew.
So, I mean, that fight, like I said, is pretty,
It was quick.
It's whatever. I would have liked to have seen a little more of Hatsumi at that point. But now for sure this guy's nobody to mess with. Man,
Hatsumi, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
I love Hatsumi.
I will give it to Chiba. He was able to get one hit on Hatsumi.
Oh yeah, when he kicked him.
Because when he told him the two lies, he made himself seem larger than life to Sin.
Oh yeah, and then I liked it how like when he did the Bruce Lee thing and all the fighters like they sort of silhouetted the fighters behind Chiba like he's gonna fight all these dudes.
Yeah,
like here you go, this grapple.
Yep.
And then that was it. He would have been dope if he would have trained. I think he'd have been dope. I mean, you can mimic people. I mean, only copycat I know who can do that is Kakashi, and but if you go be a copycat, be a good copycat.
Right.
Be a real good copycat.
Definitely.
So that fight ended. And Hatsume's my boy, so I'm glad he won that. So we get to the next fight. We get to oh, go ahead.
No, the next fight was Yohei Bando and Hanafusa.
Yeah.
Oh, did I skip Ren's?
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh my God, we got to get to Oma's lover. We Ren's and fucking Setsuna's. So Ren Nakaido was okay. That fight, Setsuna, it's
that was not a fight.
That was started off like one.
Yeah, Ren pulling a couple hits. He got naked, and he had to show his ass and then get dressed. I like his group because he's not affiliated with. He's affiliated, so he's under Toyo Electric Power.
Yeah.
So old boy is scheming, so he needs all the pawns. So Ren comes up. I'm like, all right, we got another one up. And then his group is called the Heavenly Wolves.
Yeah.
They're like mercenaries.
Yeah, and actually, I think I read a little more of the manga this morning, and you see like a kind of a flashback sequence. And this is sometime later, but it shows the mercenaries meeting before the tournament even began.
Right.
And you had like Nakaido, you had Julius Reinhold, and the Crying Man,
Masaki,
and
Meguro,
and two other dudes who were wearing like masks, and you don't know who they were.
Oh, those are Hanayama. How you say his name?
Hayama.
Yeah, Hayama's. Those are his versions of Katahara's bodyguards. Those are the guardians.
Yeah, his guardians.
All I remember from that particular thing is like this: the guy that they're following, a guy named I think Aku.
From Samurai Jack?
No. I'd have to look it up. But it's he's another assassin, and he's like, what is wrong with all of these people? There's nothing normal about any of these people. And then he sees Ren Nakaido, and he's like, okay, finally, someone who's normal. And then Nakaido stands up and turns around, and of course he's just got like a thought.
Yeah.
He goes, nope, he's a pervert. And I just lost.
The manga stuff that they will not show in the anime because it's funny.
Yeah, definitely.
So this fight was this is the pretty boy fight. Because Jerry Tyson, all the chicks are going crazy. So Setsuna comes out. Jerry Tyson, man. Good old Jerry Tyson. He tried, man. He tried. And Jerry Tyson's looking at Ren's outfit. I was looking at his outfit. I'm like, bro, what's up with your outfit? You ain't got no clothes on. And then Setsuna comes out, and then Jerry Tyson's looking at both of them like, man, why are people all the dudes that are looking like women?
Yeah, he does say that.
So the fight started off as a fight. And Ren's, he's talking stuff to Setsuna. Setsuna's just like, I'm not phased. You're not Oma. I can kill you with no.
I don't feel bad.
I don't feel bad about killing you. You're not Oma, so I don't care about you. So the fight started off pretty cool. He does a couple moves. Ren's talking shit.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna be a snack for this wolf, and Setsuna just not phased.
And then Ren hits Kiryu, and it goes from a fight to a manhunt.
Yeah.
Man, you see his shoulder?
Man, that's the best.
Yeah, and Ren is like, what did you just do to me? And Kiryu's like, you just damaged me, and I'm a sacrifice for Oma. Now I have to make you pay for that.
And his face just went. His eyes got all big. I said, yo.
I will say, I don't really like the anime, but I will say I do like how they show the difference in when it says the second Ashura awakens after that happens to Kiryu, and how he seems like to be a different color.
Yeah, he's kind of like it's like the advanced. It was kind of like the color of the advanced a little bit. He turned like red, but he put him under hypnosis, and they thought it was and it backfired. And that was pretty cool. We got the one hit off him. I said, oh, and then he gets up. I'm like, oh, this guy. I was like, this about to get ugly. I said, yo, you about to lose, bro.
Like the way that the blows were animated. Like the skin was just twisted in.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I was kind of trying to, because they didn't really explain it in the anime.
Yeah, his Raksasha palm, his move that he did. Yeah, they don't.
The Raksha's palm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way when they had explained it, and it was like his style's jujitsu. It's like some old traditional jujitsu that he uses, and it has some Nico style properties a little bit as well with the redirection and stuff.
Yeah.
So pretty much after this fight it was just pretty much a manhunt. And he was like, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
So he said, if you surrender, I'll let you live. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of just like
cat and mouse.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell after a certain point that Setsuna's just kind of toying with him.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Especially the moment where he knocks Rin over and he's like stepping on his chest, just talking shit to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, you can't really tell in the anime, but in the manga, like, Rin's blushing because he's so embarrassed that he's getting toyed with like that.
Oh yeah, he got toyed with bad. That was horrible. He said, "You look pretty good on the ground right there."
Yeah,
just don't.
Oh, go ahead. Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, it's just Setsuna, once he decides to end this fight, he ends it pretty decisively.
Man, it was bad. It was bad.
Oh, I love the ending of this fight.
He gets so he does blink.
Yeah, he does the blink, and then he was like, "The technique I just used to get behind you is called blink." And the Koei style only has 2 techniques, and then the second one you're about to experience it. Yeah, and then Rin's like, "Oh my god, I surrender! Please don't do this."
Life.
Too late.
He said, "Oh, I surrender." You see his heart. It's like,
yeah.
And he's like, "The move I just used on you." Setsuna was so calm. He was like, "The move I just used on you was Rock Sasha." And then his heart, and he see, "Oh!" You hear
yeah
in the background, "Oh, ow!" And he just lays there. I was like, "Damn, is he dead?"
There's another cool moment in the fight too, where Kiryu uses blink, and he's like pointing at Rin's temple. He's like, "I've already seen that technique."
Oh,
please.
when he hurt the first time, and he pointed dead at his forehead.
Yeah,
he's like, "You hurt?" He's like, "I already seen that." He said, "Don't push me around. I don't like being bullied."
Yeah.
Said, "Oh, he's wilding."
And then just to take it up a notch in the weirdo factor, he blows a kiss to Tokita right as he's leaving.
Yeah.
Like after the fight.
He said, "I know you're watching."
I'm like, bro.
I said, "Man, he's creepy, but he's dangerous."
Yeah.
Setsun is dangerous.
Like most creepy people are.
Man, I don't know between him or Meguro, but he.
Oh man. I really wanted to see more of Masaki, man. I really wish they wouldn't have killed him off though.
Man,
I wanted to see more of that character.
Okay, but what happened?
It's so interesting because when I read that fight in the manga, I was just like, "Oh, okay, it's kind of brutal, like the Meguro and Mutema fight." But like, it made me genuinely uncomfortable in the anime, especially the song that Meguro walks out to.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was the man. So when he grabbed him by the nuts, I know we supposed to be talking about the other fight, but when he grabbed him by the nuts and they showed it and you see it bleeding, I said,
"Yeah,
yeah."
And then he just laughing. I said, "Bro, what's up with your man's? He's not going down. This man is not human by no means." Yeah, no, we ain't got to the cringe part because I was just reviewing, watching it again.
Yeah,
and when we get to the Akuya Cosmo fight, that low me made me cringe. I said
that one was rough. Yeah,
God,
but we're still a ways from.
Oh yeah, we're still.
Yeah, we have a few more before we get to that.
God, so the next fight, this one even a fight. Now this was an assassination attempt, pretty much.
Yeah,
we get your boy. You finally get to talk about it.
Yeah.
We get the dissector, Hajime Hanafusa versus the serial killer. Bondo, what? Oh, the tusk, the bloody tusk.
That's what it was.
The bloody Bondo Yohei. Yo, when they showed him when they showed him when he was younger, I said, "That's Bondo." When Yamashita had the flashback.
Yeah.
I was like, that was Bondo. But I was like, but he was looking at him then and looking at him now. I was like, he was a serial killer.
Yep.
I was like, this man right here, this old buff bald guy was a serial killer. The fight started out pretty cool.
Yeah.
The interest of this fight was dope because they were just looking at each other like, oh, Bondo was like, I like his personality. For a serial killer, he's really laid back.
Yeah.
Like, the outside world's so noisy, and he's in the handcuffs.
Mhm.
Like, this dude is huge. And you know, Hanafusa just like, you smell that? The blood. He said the permanent. He said I can smell the blood in the arena. I said, oh, this is going to be bloody.
Now, I have no evidence to back this up, what I'm about to say, but I think, judging by like his size and his temperament, I feel like Yohei Bando could be based off of a real serial killer named Edmund Kemper.
I'm damn near about to go look him up. And
don't do it. To give you like a heads up, like Edmund Kemper is like almost I think he's over 7 feet tall, and he's like almost 300 pounds. He's a big dude. He's a huge dude. And the way that Bando talks, as everything's just so matter of factly, is very much how Kemper was. So I think that there might be like a bit of a nod to an actual real life serial killer in Bando.
Wow.
So here's the interesting thing about Bando. He's actually modeled after Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like a very intelligent serial killer.
Yeah,
without the cannibal.
Yeah, without the cannibalistic tendencies.
I was like, what? I was like, he's based off of Hannibal Lecter in what way? I was like, oh yeah, he's smart. And he went to school. Bando went to college. Was he like a forensic? Like he was like some type of Bando was like in medical school.
He's he's really knowledgeable about human biology.
Yeah. What made his body like it? So before we get to the fight, people don't know. I guess they think it's an ordinary fight. We get to find out Hanafusa's works for the Japanese government.
Yes. And
he's there to assassinate Bando, which the company, I guess they arranged it for him to fight him because Bando's escaped death. How many attempts they try to kill Bando?
They've technically executed him like multiple times, and he lived.
Right.
He continues to live every single time.
So the only way to kill Bando is actually to
physically kill him.
Physically, because everything else they try to hang him. They tried to. I don't know. They did an electric chair. I don't even know if they gave lethal injection, which probably wouldn't have worked, as we're going to see in this fight what Hanafusa does to him. So the fight starts out. Bando's about to get pretty much Bando's there to get assassinated. So I like how the fight started, and the announcer was like, "Take your stance," and he was like, Hanafusa just has his hands in his coat pocket, and Bando was just like,
stretching.
This is like going to be business as usual. He said, "Oh, I like how Hanafusa lied." He was like, "Oh, I'm not a martial artist, so I don't need to take a stance."
Yeah. You find out pretty quickly that that's not technically true.
Technically not. As soon as the fight starts, Bando's like, "I gotta kill this kid." All right. Well, I mean, he puts his hand over his face and tries to, and then as soon as the fight starts, pressure points. He says, "You're a horrible liar." He says, "You are a martial artist." I liked his fighting style. Mm-hmm. It's called I've been trying to think of it. Lu Chu Ching Na.
I'm looking it up now. I can't remember the exact name.
It was hard to pronounce. Basically, it's like attacking his pressure points.
It's acupuncture.
Acupuncture,
basically. Let's see here.
For a normal,
I should have wrote this down. I can't believe I didn't.
No, you're good because I knew the name. I just couldn't pronounce it. Mm-hmm. Like it's acupuncture. Basically, if this was a normal fighter, obviously they'd be writhing in pain because Bando was getting tore up by Hanafusa, and he was just tagging him like left and right, and he was just all the
Shu Chin Na.
That's what it is. Thank you. I knew the pronunciation, but I couldn't get it out the sound to save my soul.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's his. It's pretty much acupuncture, and he's just tagging Bando all over the place, and he's just. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but he's not doing any like
damage,
outwardly physical damage. It's all pressure point.
Yeah,
which anyone else except for Bando probably would have ended the fight rather quick.
Yeah, because he was tagging him in every place. He was tagging him his arm, his chest, his shoulder. He went through his thigh.
Yep.
Like he was tearing Bondo up, and Bondo was just not phased at all.
And then he goes. He does go for the terminal stab, right?
Yo, and back in
to the back of his spine, and Bondo breaks both of his fingers.
Yeah, because he just leans his head back.
Yeah. And Hanafusa was doing it. It did it. He pulled it back so casually, like, yeah, oh. He said, ooh.
He looks at it like, huh, so that happened. And like, that's all literally the only reaction he had. So, but I think this is the point where we see one of the things about Hanafusa that I was like, this is dope. Is when we're finally introduced to his arm blades.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. His femur, it was like his femur bones.
Mm-hmm. There were blades carved out of his bones, and they come out.
Yeah,
of his wrists.
I was like, oh,
yeah,
oh,
and it's brutal, man.
And then we learned about Bondo. Bondo was abnormal too. He can pretty much. He was like Toguro. He's like El Toguro a little bit from Yu Yu Hakusho. The way he can kind of move his body parts. Not so.
He has an abnormal range of motion with his joints.
So you can't exactly pinpoint certain spots to hit him at because he can kind of rearrange his body parts slightly.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, he twisted his head like the Exorcist.
He did.
I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
If I remember right, doesn't Bondo say something to the effect of we're both freaks or something like that?
Yeah, pretty much.
He says something to that effect.
Yeah, pretty much. He was like, we're both abnormals. Yeah, we're both abnormal. So let's get with the pleasantries and just end this.
Yeah.
And then so he tries to. Oh no, he punches Hanafusa, and then we figure out too another secret about Hanafusa because Hanafusa is pretty much his body's just altered.
Yeah, he has a grenade in his heel.
Yeah,
and then an interesting point about the fight is somewhere in the middle of it, after Hanafusa pulls out his blades, he specifically says the outcome of this fight doesn't matter to me anymore.
Yeah, I just want to dissect you. He just pretty much wants to get Bondo's body and just have operation on it.
Yeah,
pretty much. And then we learned about Hanafusa that he doesn't feel pain since I guess he rearranged his hypothalamus.
Yes,
not send signals for his pain in his body, so he don't feel no pain.
Yeah, but of course, as one would expect, this fight is also ended by one move.
Oh yeah, because he stabbed pretty much. Hanafusa stabs Bondo. Almost stabs him. Oh, he does stab him, but
but Bondo locks him into place and then just uses his hand and dislocates his neck.
He did it so clean. I was watching it. You see his Hanafusa left. He's like, and then he grabs his back, backs his shit. I was like, oh, and he just walks on the ground. I said, oh, bruh. He's like, oh, I think he's not. I think they didn't realize he was dead. Because Kata Saki was like, oh, we got to get somebody down here.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, bro, he dead.
Yeah.
And he didn't move. I was like, oh.
But at the end of that fight, Bondo goes back into the tunnel and basically just collapses. Yeah.
And then we learn, so it was funny. We thinking Hanafusa's dead. And it was like, oh, the nurse that's always with him and the dude, the whoever the manager is of Hanafusa. Mm-hmm. And when it was like, she was like, oh my God, he's dead. And then the doctor was like, Hanafusa, you pathetic. How could you say that? He did everything. He gave up his life for this fight. And the doctor was like, all right.
And dude just kind of pops his neck back into place.
I like how Hanafusa, that was funny when he woke back up. He said, ooh. He said, I really did die.
And he's like, if it would have been another 4 inches, it would have been really hard to wake me back up.
Oh, that was funny as hell.
Yeah.
His humor in that was just priceless. And then everybody's looking like he's alive. I'm like, yeah, he's good now.
But that's when we find out that his arm blades, had been coated in some kind of virus.
Poison. It was like some type of poison.
It was either a virus that he had inoculated himself against. And so Bondo was now infected with it, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he realizes that's what he meant, what Hanafusa meant when he said this fight, the outcome of this fight doesn't matter to me anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, is a lot of like, I don't know the word I'm searching for. I was going to say exposition, but I don't think that's right.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, foreshadowing, excuse me. And yeah, I mean, it's such a wild, like, way to end that fight, but he was trying to tell you the whole time, like, this is what's about to happen.
And he coded it before the match. So he was going to plan on killing Bondo either way. As long as because at first he was like, oh, I just decided to dissect your body. Like, nah, I really don't care what happens now. As long as I take you down, that's all that pretty much matters.
Yeah.
So they pretty much, and then the manager for Bondo was like, Bondo! He just collapses, and Bondo was like, oh, shit. That's what you meant.
Yeah.
I'm about to die.
And he catches it, yeah. So that kind of ends it for that whole particular fight and that whole angle.
So we go to the next fight. I felt bad for the next fight, but no, I got a lot of. This fight had the feels. It has some low key feels in it. So we had the start of they show. We first pretty much it's Kaneda, the one who beat Hiruma to take his spot.
Oh yeah, Tsukuichi Kaneda.
Yeah. Versus the Thai god of war, Sao Peng's rival, eternal rival, Kowloon Wongsat, the boxing champion. Bare knuckle boxing at that. He don't use boxing gloves. He don't use nothing but his bare fist. So pretty much. Oh, go ahead.
Now, does he also use Lethwei, or is it Muay Thai, or is it like a thing?
So what? I don't want to give away too much about what Kowloon can do, but his full fighting style is not Muay Thai or Lethwei.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got some arsenals. He's got some. He's getting Everett. He's actually getting close to the next fight. I can't wait till we talk about the next fight.
Yeah.
God, but this
next fight is probably my favorite.
Man, that was the fight everybody was literally waiting for.
Kowloon's next fight?
No, I'm talking about the next fight. I can't wait till we talk about the next fight. So when we do Kaneda's and Kowloon's fight, Hiruma was basically saying when he talked to Kaneda before he went out there was like, yo, you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I'm going to be good, bro. I got this. I'm like, he's fighting Kowloon. I knew Kowloon ain't no slouch. So basically, he's Kaneda's like, he's real feel confident about this fight. But we all know Kaneda's strong, but looking at Kowloon's the boxing champion of Thailand.
I don't even think it's necessarily that Kaneda is strong. It's more that dude can just absorb a lot of damage while he's trying to
analyze.
While he's trying to analyze, and then he can finish it off fast.
He's like Akuya without Hiyama.
Yeah, because see, I believe it's Muteba later on says like the point of martial arts is to finish the fight as fast as possible with as little effort as possible.
True.
And so Kaneda is really, really going for that philosophy.
Yeah. And the fight starts out, and then Tyson was like, he shows, and Kowloon gets in his stance, and he was like, he kind of was talking to Kowloon. He was like, this dude is weak. He said, this tournament's a sham. He said, if he can get in here, this tournament doesn't have any challenges. Mm-hmm. And I feel bad for Kaneda. He's just talking. And then the fight starts. Kowloon gets in his boxing stance. And then Tyson was like, and then Kowloon pretty much demonstrated. He said, Kowloon can throw 13 punches in one breath. I'm like, God damn. That's fast as shit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the fight, Kaneda is trying to pretty much counter Kowloon as quick as possible to end it.
Yeah.
It was like succession, like 5-6 jabs in one succession.
Yeah.
And was just beaming Kaneda.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he got just treated like a punching bag this whole fight.
Pretty much. And then I like how Kaneda goes in his backstory. he was like, I know I'm weak. And he's like, says it from the beginning, like, I was born weak. And then his body was weak and he died. He was on the verge of dying like multiple times. But then he said what kept him going is he wanted to get stronger.
Yeah.
Was pretty much. So this fight has some emotion in it. It wasn't just like, two people.
Yeah, for me, it was this. For me, this match was about a person who did not need to be there, or even really technically deserve to be there, proving to himself and everyone else that, yeah, he did deserve to be there, even if he was going up against an opponent he had no chance of being there.
Yeah, he had no
Right.
Calon.
And his exact words were, "What's wrong with the weak wanting to be strong?"
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, you're right.
He's still trying to counter Calon, and he finally gets up, and he's like, he keeps getting up, and everybody was looking like Canada, and then I felt bad, and then he finally tells Calon, "Why are you taking it easy on me? Go full strength." And I'm glad he told him that. Basically, like, I want to don't half-ass this fight. Go all out. If you're gonna beat my ass, go all out and beat my ass. Don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Just go full.
Don't pull a Gensai on me. Well, he didn't say that.
I know. Oh God. Yeah, pretty much. And then Calon was like, I respect, because he left him on the ground and he was like, I truly respect you now. And then so Canada finally was like, I could use my full, because he analyzed, he said, you're my favorite fighter. He said, I've been watching you. I love your fights. And he was analyzing Calon from jump. So he was like, I get to use my full power now, actually use my prediction against you since I know how you fight. And pretty much he did a few, and Canada did a few moves. He did a few moves, but then the end result, it was like I think he threw Calon on the ground. I think he countered him a couple times, but after that, you see the fist, and you see everybody's expression after that, what the result was, and just Canada's fist in the ground. I'm like, damn.
Summarily, it said that he was able to dodge like 9 out of the 10 punches that Calon threw at him.
Yep.
That last one just took him out. That last one finished him off.
And he respected him. Calon is he's a high standard fighter. He's very well known. And he was like, I like how he ended it. He was like, yeah. He said, I really do respect you. And you're the one, you lasted a lot more rounds than a lot of other. He said he gave more compliments. He said, you countered him more than pro boxers have that I fought.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he really does. He does say, like, you've got a friend.
I respect
that.
Yeah. He did say at the end.
Cool.
He did say at the end. He was like, all right. He said, get some rest, friend. I said, the friendship there. I saw like Kengan. They formed the friendships after the fights. It's not all, I'll just beat your ass. Don't talk to me. You trash.
Now there's a few of those.
Now we got some. We do got some of those.
Like Cosmo and Adam Dudley. That's a really good
bromance.
Yeah,
that was a good bromance.
Like after Dudley gets rocked by Cosmo at the end of that first fight, he's just with Cosmo and Wakatsuki and I think
he was with Kaneda, Okubo, Hiruma, and Wakatsuki, and then Wakatsuki would be with Seki too. Yeah, they'd be all hanging out during the fights. So they're still competitors, but they're still friends. They keep the friendship. I love that.
Yes,
I love that. I love that in Kengan.
But you've also now mentioned Okubo, who is the next fight. This one hurt. This one.
I don't like this fight.
I felt bad for Okubo, and he's not, like I said. There's some high contenders in this tournament. Like, we got some dark horses because everybody damn near expects either the Fang of Mitsudo, which our next fight, I'm just going to say his name. And I like how the entrance started when Okubo and Wakatsuki were talking. And he says, no, he was like, the next fight. And he told Okubo, don't see the Fang as a person. Just don't look at him as a
see him as a monster.
He was like a monster, huh? And he's just so casual. He's like, all right, cool. I'm just going to slay the monster then, pretty much.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, too, and you and I have talked about this in, I think, a previous episode. I really expected the Fang of Metsudo to be a Yujiro Hanma from Baki.
Yeah, no,
that is what I expected.
No, that's what I like about Kengan. They got some Yujiro fighters, but they don't. They're still vulnerable. There are some mismatches.
Yeah.
They're like me and Everett, we talked about that too. There are some mismatches, Rihito and Gensai, but they're not like indestructible. I'm not gonna lie. Never mind. I ain't gonna say. There are some mismatches, but they're not like Yujiros, where Yujiro just comes in and beats somebody in like 3 hits and that's it.
And never gets a finger laid on
and never gets a finger laid on him.
Yeah.
And the way they portrayed the Fang, I like the way the fight starts. Okubo goes out there and gets cheers. But then when the Fang comes out, you can hear a pin drop.
Oh, yeah, it's dead silent.
And that's what Okubo was like, man, it's dead silent in here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, wish they would cheer me on more. And now you hear it's Fang, 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 Fang. We were waiting for this intro. And then I like it like Saki just basically said it. Finally, we're at the most hypest fight.
The main event.
The main event. Because this is the guy that everybody is striving to beat. Everybody's striving. The Fang of Metsu, that's a title that you can, a title. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Takeshi Wakatsuki's entire motivation
is to beat the Fang.
Yep. Of Metsudo. He doesn't care if he even wins as long as he beats the Fang of Metsudo.
Kano, and did you hear his record? His record was probably the most, 156 wins.
Without a single loss.
Kano he must have been the Fang, because we don't know other Fangs besides him. He's been the Fang for a really long time, and he's not been taking no L's. Like, I can't wait till you, Tim, when he get Everett, I can't wait till you get to his backstory.
Oh, yeah.
When you get to Kano's backstory, it was very interesting.
Yeah. That's not until like near the end of the series.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So the fight starts out, they come out, and Okubo, and Kano's not have been in the outside world too much, because he was like, Okubo's like, you're like the final boss.
Yeah.
And then Kano was like, the final boss.
He doesn't understand.
He doesn't understand. What? He was like, what's this final boss's martial arts style?
Yeah.
And he's like, what is this dude been living under a rock?
What I really found interesting about this fight specifically is we've been through dialogue, because we hadn't really seen much of the Fang.
No, we have
seen
not.
Him standing, but you never seen him do anything.
No,
up to this point. So all we know is what we've heard other fighters saying, and so they talk about him as though he is kind of a Yujiro character, where it's like no one beats the Fang of Metsudo. No one can do it.
No one can beat the Fang. Like everybody's striving to beat the Fang.
But Okubo comes out, and I mean, he's just manhandling.
Yo, when the fight started, like the grapples, because they do Okubo's backstory. So he took up wrestling in middle school, and then he won like a championship. Then he quit.
He got bored with it.
And he quit.
Yeah.
Then he went to boxing. And then they said he could have been like the next person to go to the Olympics. He had talent. Mm-hmm. He quit that too. Mm-hmm. And then he fell into the MMA arena.
Yeah. And then despite all of that, while that was happening, he never stopped wrestling.
Yeah.
He was always practicing wrestling throughout all of that, because he knew the importance of grapples and things like that in MMA. And I really like the way that the fight is framed. Like, it's the king of the underground sports world versus the king of the public sports world.
Yeah. What is it? They called him the king of combat. Okubo is the king of combat. Mm-hmm. So the fight starts off. The tussling. That was like some MMA shit for real. Because first Kano gets low and he goes in his stance, and then pretty much Okubo goes for a tackle, for a takedown, and then it was like reversal after reversal.
Yeah.
It was a back and forth between them, and I'm thinking like, damn, because I'm glad it sounded like they made him vulnerable. Like, he's not the Fang. He's not no Yujiro. He's vulnerable, but to a certain extent, I think the Fang will let let himself be vulnerable, because he's pretty much analyzing Okubo.
Yeah, that is Agito's biggest issue, and it comes out in that fight. he will try to beat whoever he fights on their own field just so he can be like, I'm superior to you and your specialty.
And that ain't work. And the Fang let him do it. Like he was the Fang.
So like, even though Okubo was getting all of these hits in on Agito, it didn't do anything to him.
No, it did not.
And then while Agito's on the ground, Okubo kicks him, like soccer kicks him in the head.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything to him. And Okubo's like, that blow felt really off.
Oh no, before that, when they was fighting, and then Kano said enough, and he thrust.
He just rocked his hips and he was like, get off me.
He said it so cool, like, all right, I had enough of you. Get off. I said, bro, what? And then I like how Katahara was like, he was hyping up, he was gassing up Kano. He was like, oh, he's just playing. He's like, he said, you got a good fighter. To Okubo's manager. He was like, yeah, Okubo's a good athlete. He was like, yeah. Katahara already knew what was really gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Like he didn't have no doubts about Kano.
Yeah.
He didn't have no doubts. There was no what's the word? Hesitation. Like, man, I don't know if the Fang's gonna win. He's just laughing like
and Okubo takes it to the Fang.
No, he does
most of this match. And then comes the soccer kick that they were talking about.
Okubo soccer kicks Kano, and he was hesitant to do it again because I don't know if it's in the anime or not, but in the manga, the reason why Okubo doesn't like using that soccer kick is because he almost killed his opponent that he used it on.
That I don't think is in the anime.
Yeah.
Nope.
But that's a little thing in the manga. Like he was like, I needed to use it against him.
Yeah, and then of course, Fang gets up and he's like, "How in the world is he standing?"
Nah, man.
Yeah. Find out that basically Kano just relaxed every muscle in his body
to become limp.
Yeah, impact, so it lessened the impact of it.
But then the creepy part came.
Yeah. When he gets up with a really insane smile on his face.
But then he had no pupils in his eyes.
Yeah.
He had no pupils in his eyes at all, and he was looking like Okubo was like, yo, why you looking like that? I can see you on the Jumbotron. He didn't say nothing. He just looked, and then Fang turned around and said, no, Wakatsuki said it. He said, now, how Fat Kano's got like this, he said Okubo's attacks can't reach the Fang.
Yeah.
And Katahara said it too. He was like, he's basically having fun with him. It's like, well, this is where Kano really turns up.
Yeah.
So basically, they were showing it was like a rock, paper, scissors thing that Okubo does. If like Kano goes for a strike, he goes for a grapple. If Kano goes for a grapple, he goes for a takedown. And it was like a rock, paper, scissors thing that was supposed to work. But Kano was like, yeah, you're not gonna beat me now.
And this is where we start getting into, I think, studio or announcer voice takes over.
Yeah.
And he's explaining how exactly the Fang is so dangerous. And it's
his formless style.
That's what it is. I could save my soul.
Style, yeah. And so basically he kind of adapts whatever his fighting style is to,
because Sin is like everybody thinks it's a Sistema at first. It's a Russian martial art. And it was like, nope, it is custom made. It's made specifically to beat Okubo.
Yeah. And he was, he basically adapted. Pretty much he adapted to the whole fight. And the fight was over quick. Like,
as soon as he went formless, that fight was basically a wrap.
Man, he got worked. It was
he did.
Yeah, he got worked pretty quick.
But it's because I'm reading off the episode guide here to kind of refresh myself, and Fang pulls that belly to belly suplex.
Oh yeah,
pretty much. Next thing you know, Akuba just wakes up in the or Okubo. He wakes up in the hospital. He's like, "Did I win?"
Yeah.
I think Wakatsuki was there. Somebody was there with him.
Yes, he was. Wakatsuki was.
Yeah. And Okubo starts shaking, and he was like, "What the hell was I fighting?"
Yes.
Walking
Yes.
Suki
He
told
gets
him.
Yeah.
really upset. Yeah.
Walking Suki told him. He's like, bro, you're not fighting.
Yeah, because like Agito nearly killed Okubo in that fight, and he would have if the announcer, like, he was like, you should have stepped in sooner to the referee.
He told him too. Yeah.
But the way that episode ends in the anime is Oma approaches Wakatsuki and the Fang.
Oma was wild.
And he's like, both of you. He's like, I'm going to win this block.
Yeah, he's like, the winner of the block is going to be me.
No, he told Kano that because he came.
Yeah.
Wakatsuki was there.
Yes.
And he came with the Kano. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to rock your shit next round. And then Kano was looking like, no, Yamashita was like, Kazuo, he's like, don't fight him, Oma. He said, there's no need to worry. This man can't beat me.
Well, he knocks him out.
He does. It was before.
No, like, I know this part specifically is different between the anime and the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remind me what happens in the anime.
So in the anime, Kano knocks Oma completely out cold, and he's like, you're fighting Ryan Kure next, and you're not gonna win.
He said, you're not gonna win deep block. No, this is before Oma attacked him. Remember, Nico showed up, the spirit of Nico, and talked to Oma and put his hand on his shoulder.
I think Oma like blocks the attack in the anime or something, and then in the manga, when that happens, Kano just kicks Oma and nearly kills him with the one kick. Like, he makes Oma bounce off the ceiling with his kick.
Yeah, he kicked the shit out of him.
And then Metsudo's bodyguards show up behind Oma and just choke him out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And this is another. And then going into the next episode, this is another of Oma's. What's the word?
Visual.
It's one of his. Yeah, it's one of his meditations where he runs into Nico
again.
Nico kind of his brain again.
And this is around when like the anime starts to really deviate from the manga.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
because I know here when he's having this conversation with the spirit of Nico, he's like, this is where he says, if your Nico style works so well, then why are you dead?
Yeah. We're gonna learn a little bit.
Yeah, he says that in the anime, and whereas in the manga, like, they have this entire breakdown. And like, Nico's like, this is why you suck in these specific katas. And then in the manga, he's like, you need to remember, Oma, the person that taught you the advance was not me.
Yeah. And see, in the anime, they've never explained where he can do it. They kind of, it's kind of implied in the anime that it's just something he can do.
Yeah. It was there was not no Nico style. That's not a Nico style technique by no means.
Yeah,
but it is here in this thing that Nico's ghost kind of does say, I'm not going to lie, the Nico style, the way you practice it, may not be enough to beat Kure.
And then he punches the wall, Oma punches the rock.
Yeah.
He gets shitty. And it was like, man. So.
But now we're getting into quite possibly one of the most brutal fights I've ever seen in an anime.
So we finally get back to the cop. And we finally get back to man, this fight. So
this fight is cringe.
So
like it will make you cringe in pain.
So a recap of fighters. Cosmo barely beat Dudley. He and I say barely, but he struggled.
Yeah, he took a lot of damage.
He struggled. And then Akuya, let's thanks to Hiyama. This is a Kainu. Everett, this is pretty Kainu. Kainu for One Piece. This is that absolute
Okoya basically skated through essentially unharmed.
Pretty much. Thanks to his own reflexes and to Hiyama.
Yeah, and Hiyama's timing.
I'll be able to join the One Piece conversation here in about 10 years.
Yo, I told Everett, he started rereading. I was like, do you want to do a One Piece one? You know, One Piece will be God. If we did a One Piece,
that's a marathon.
That would be godlike.
Yeah.
I see, because I was watching another podcast and they're doing this. They call it the One Piece version. It's called the Rant Cafe. And they always talk about One Piece, and the one dude, Animac, never watched it. So they have him reading it, and he reads so many chapters. And I want to read it now because there's so much stuff that I forgot that happened. I remember a lot of One Piece, but I'm like, did that happen? I said, damn, I forgot that happened. And I was like, damn, I want to do a reread of One Piece and do it. If I do a Everett, I would need you on that one. And if I get Tim to read it, and we get somebody else.
Take a vacation from work.
Bro. Yo, Joseph.
I will definitely say it will go a lot faster if you read it.
Yeah. I told him to read it.
Man, I watched up to the episode, and it's not even very far. I watched up to the episode where Luffy and Zoro meet.
Oh, yeah, that's like the second arc, I think.
You gotta watch him. That's better than the second arc. He's got a while.
And I was just like, dude, I can't even deal with this right now.
Hey, Samaran, how you doing? Thanks for popping in here. We're talking about the Kengan Ashura. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Thank you in the stream. I appreciate y'all joining. Thank you.
But what we were talking is Cosmo and Akuya, and we've already seen just the level of straight ruthlessness
from Akuya.
That Akuya is capable of.
And we even seen it. We're gonna see it in the full effect in this fight.
Yeah, we're gonna see it.
Jesus,
we're gonna see it cranked up all the way.
Oh my! So man, it got my side hurting, man. So the fight starts out. Cosmo takes a stance that nobody wasn't expecting him because he's grappling. He's a grappler. He's an MMA fighter. They have strikes, but mostly his code name is the King of Strangler. And he's gonna go a striking fight because Adam Dudley was like, he's going to striking. He's gonna do a striking match with the pig. He's like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And everybody was surprised. Everybody was surprised by Cosmo's stance. And so he almost giving, talking to, before the fight. Yeah, I like how the conversation. He sold Akuya's fight, Akuya's entrance. How he almost was like, "Good luck, do good out there, Akuya." He said, "Look, luck's for the weak. We need about this justice." And I'm like, "Oh man." So he's already revved up already. So the fight starts out. Cosmo's just pretty much hit and run.
Yeah.
And Akuya's got his guard up, and then Hiyama's trying to. They already did their homework on the zone. They already know about the zone, and he's waiting for the zone to happen. So as the fight progresses, it's in and out for pretty much Cosmo.
Hiyama and Akuya at the start of the fight, basically Hiyama was like, stay out of his grappling ring.
Pretty right.
And so basically it's kind of touch and go fighting for a little while.
It was.
They go ahead, man.
Another thing too is even back when Okoye was fighting Haruo, nobody else could tell, but Kazuo could tell. He's like, it seems like Okoye is being controlled, like he's like fighting like a puppet.
He does specifically say that.
Yeah.
But either way, this touch and go goes on for a while, and I think the Ice Emperor said something about how he's like, man, people don't come to these fights to see touch and go. He's like, they better do something before somebody's reputation gets messed up, basically.
Yeah.
And that is around the time that Hiyama tells Akuya to take a certain stance. And it's a very, very similar stance to the one that the Fang of Metsudo used against Okubo.
Mm-hmm. Because he basically, Hiyama was like, this is basically, we analyzed the fight for the Fang, and pretty much that fighting style fits Akuya's build and everything else.
Yeah, and they're trying to basically tire out Cosmo.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we remember during the Adam Dudley fight, Cosmo even specifically said, I don't have the stamina to go very long. I can't fight.
Anderson! My boy!
Oh, is that Andy?
understand, my
But-
brother.
But yeah, he says like I can't fight for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So basically, that's Akuya and Hiyama's strategy here is to tire out Cosmo and then just finish this quickly.
Yeah, and then they figure out what is her name again?
Hiyama.
Hiyama. She figures out Cosmo's rhythm, and
Mhm.
then they start their countermeasure, and then Nishionji is like, something is wrong, and then he disappears.
Akira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosmo's manager.
Yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
Him and
And then
Adam Dudley are watching the fight together.
yeah, and then when that happens and he starts counterattacking, Cosmo evolves and he starts reacting even faster, and he's like, Hiyami, I need another analysis.
Yeah.
And then that's when Nishinoji and Adam are already over there. Was
Yeah.
like, I knew he was acting funny. I was like, uh-oh. But then, see,
And then he's like, Nishionji is like, I've been intercepting your signals this whole time, so
Mhm.
you need to tell Okoye to surrender the match. And Hiyami's like, oh no, this is not good.
He's kind of like, you don't understand. This is not for us to win. This is to protect everybody that Okoye is around.
because
Yeah.
Akuyo's like, because he put Akuyo in the chokehold. He put him in the choke. He got behind him.
Yeah.
Some type of
It's a
chokehold.
triangle choke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then Aki was like, all right, come on, give
He's
me
like, Hiyami, time's up. And then
oh,
yeah,
no,
and
no.
then he just goes insane.
I like how he said it though. He said, Hiyama, remember what I told you at round one? And she said, he said, time. Yeah, he said, time's up. Yo, that looked like it hurt. He put
Yeah.
his fingers, dug it in Cosmo's skin. I said, Jesus, it was bloody in the anime. I said, good
Yeah,
Lord.
I didn't read this part in the manga because I picked up where the anime left
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, in the anime, this is hard to watch.
Yeah.
Dude, we ain't got to the cringe part.
So at this point, Okoye takes a chunk out of Cosmo's leg
Yeah, bites
and
into
like
it.
bites it out.
Yeah,
And this when it gets dark. He said,
Yeah.
I'll show
He's
you.
like, I'm about to execute justice. And then Cosmo's like, I cannot stop shaking.
yeah. Cosmo is terrified at this point.
Yo, I'll be scared too. You bit my freaking leg, dude. Your man's he bit a nice chunk. And then the anime was just graphic with it because they was looking like they went back to Hiyama and them, and he's saying, you need to tell him to stop. And he said, I can't. It's too late. He said, what? You can't stop Akuyo when he's like this. And then Adam was like, so basically, you're his brakes. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Adam was like, oh. When he bit the chunk out of his leg, and then Nishinoji's like, Cosmo, you got this. And then he's looking at Cosmo, and then Cosmo was just terrified.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Akuyo was chewing on the skin.
Mhm.
He was like,
Yeah. And then spat it out and then just charged at Cosmo. And Cosmo's just like screaming, throwing these half-ass blows. And then Okoye grabs him, takes him to the ground, and is like, I'm about to torture you. And
Yeah.
starts breaking his ribs one by one.
yo, well, now he's
And
dead.
then Cosmo
He
passes
stuck his
out.
thumb.
Yeah.
He stuck his thumb.
Yeah.
into his side.
Oh, bro! Like when I watched it earlier, I said I didn't know how cringe this was until
Yeah.
and then Cosmo passes out. I'm like, that's the best thing that can happen.
And then he jabs his thumb back into there. He's like, I cannot permit you to pass out.
No, Everett. He punched him first. He said, "Wake up." I want you to pass out. I said, "Bro."
Oh, man.
I said, "Bro, no, let this man pass out." He said,
Yeah.
and then he does it, and then he just twisting the thumb around. I said, "Ah." Oh my God, no! He had my side hurt. And I said, bro,
Yeah,
you just stuck your freaking thumb. And then he said, there's like so many. How many ribs are in the body? And he said, we have
enough that breaking them's gonna hurt one by one.
Yeah.
He said we have.
And then Cosmo's just like,
Oh,
I wonder how many he's broken it by this point.
oh yeah. He said 3,
Yeah.
4. He said, and he
And then
oh.
and then Cosmo has a flashback to his master and
Mhm.
is like, too bad, Cosmo. Looks like I win again. And then
yeah.
he's just like, Kureishi, that's his master's name.
Yeah.
And his master's like, why do you like fighting? And Cosmo's like, well, I like winning. And Kureishi's like, well, you'll never beat me because of that, because you don't fight for just like the sport of it all. You just want the win.
No.
No, he was
Cosmo.
like, you're a prodigy, but I'm a super prodigy. That's what he that's along the lines of what he says to Cosmo.
Yeah. Cosmo actually said, he said, I like to fight because it's fun. He
Yeah.
didn't say the winning part until when we go back to the fight.
Yeah.
Fight
And then after he has that, he remembers that he goes for Okoye's nuts.
Yeah.
He was like, and Okoye's like, has he ever fought like this?
He's like, this is not the
And
Cosmo
then
I got alive.
Cosmo goes into full throttle again. He's like, you're right, master. There isn't a next time if I die.
Yeah.
And then he starts going crazy.
Yo, Cosmo turned up.
Yeah. This was a really this was a heavy turning point for
Yeah.
for Cosmo's character.
Yeah, character development
Because
was real.
He realizes this isn't supposed to be fun. I'm not supposed to be having a good time here.
Yeah. Adam called it too because he's told Nishinoiji, he was like, yeah, Cosmo's going to be okay. And he was like, do you care? And he said, you must mistaken me for a good person. He dragged this kid. He said, I know what I've done. I dragged this kid into the underworld. Yeah. And knowing that he can get killed.
But he's just saying that it's just empty words because you can tell he's genuinely furious that was happening to Cosmo.
Yeah, he couldn't.
He was shaking with anger.
Yeah.
But if this tells you how long the anime specifically drags out Cosmo's torture by Akuya, this fight takes 2 episodes.
Yep.
Most fights in this anime are a full episode. This fight alone is 2 episodes long.
So Cosmo got hella character development.
Yeah.
Everybody said it, and it was looking like this kid's a genius. Like Cosmo was going off, and then Akuya pissed him up by the throat again. And I was like, man, he was like, I'm gonna deliver. Just shut up, fool. And he kicks him in the eye, and then he blinds him.
Starts going into his blind spot and everything. He starts fighting dirty and all of that. And then he finally does get Okoye in a hold, and then Okoye just jumps back and thrusts himself against the wall to try to he slams himself in the wall to get him off of him. But Cosmo's like, you can break every single part of me you want to, I'm not letting you go.
Oh yeah, he wasn't letting him go. Cosmo was just looking at the sky like, this shit hurt.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go did Jerry Tyson say? He said he's gonna die.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, from a watcher's perspective, I'm like, dude, they're gonna fucking kill Cosmo right here, right now. Yeah. Even if he wins, I'm like, they're gonna kill this kid,
bruh. And then he lands on the ground.
He grabs the guillotine. He gets him in the guillotine choke.
Yeah. Well, Akuya got back up.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm going to deliver this just. And he's like, nah, bro, come here.
And he starts punching him in the sides, and he's like, oh, God, the pain's coming back.
He said at the beginning, the painkillers are wearing off. I said, the painkillers been wore off. He was going for those ribs. And then you can tell Cosmo was about to win because he says,
he got him in the hold, and then he screams at the top of his lungs, I'm the king of stranglers.
And then you could tell Akuya was slowing down, he was losing momentum at that point.
Yeah.
And then everybody looking like, oh, Cos won.
Yeah.
That fight was.
And then the best part when Sekibayashi was talking to Haruo about the fight, he was like, what did I tell you? The kid's a genius. And Cosmo just puts his fist up in the air.
While holding Akuya in the still on the ground, bloody, broken ribs, missing chunk out of his kneecap.
Yeah.
And then I think at the end of this fight, I think the way this episode ends is basically Cosmo getting carried off on a stretcher.
Yep.
And they all run.
That's actually different from the manga.
Yeah,
Continue.
Cosmo's getting carried off on a stretcher in the tunnels, and they come in contact with Hiyama and Akuya.
Yeah.
And Cosmo's like, he's like, what you did was horrible, but you taught me a really valuable lesson.
Yeah, you beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. Whereas like in the manga, Nishionji is like he carries Cosmo over to Akuya and
yeah.
And like Nishionji just goes off on them. It's like, yeah, too bad you cheated and you still lost.
Yeah.
And
what's interesting is in the anime with this, Cosmo he goes through this whole like almost like I want to say like a Naruto like speech about like learning things and friendship and all this nonsense. And he's like, you really taught me a lot. And he basically looks at him and is like, screw you, kid.
Yeah, he's like, let's go, Hayami.
Go, Hiyama. Yeah. Walks off.
Yeah.
You won. And then Nishinoji was like, yeah, you lost, but you took the less damage.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
it was like, you nearly killed Cosmo, but that doesn't change the fact that you lost.
Yeah.
And you cheated, and you still lost.
And then he Cosmo even tried to be friends with Akoya, and they were like, "No, we're leaving."
Yeah,
and then Dudley's like, they don't have a bright future ahead of them. Like she can't live without him, and he's a slave to his psychopathic tendencies.
Yeah,
yeah, it was a done deal on that.
Justice,
he's not going. When they showed him, when she explained what Akuya was trying to do. He's like, well, he was trying to get rid of the evil in the world and his form of justice. Yo, they showed that when they showed him killing people, when they showed him do the Spartan kick and the dude landed he burnt the dude alive. When he was like, God damn.
Yeah, he ripped out that serial killer's windpipe in the manga.
Yeah,
was breaking people's necks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, he was wilding.
Akuya was like a Sylvester Stallone movie.
Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah, that's basically Akoya's character.
I don't know. You know why I never watched Judge Dredd? I just know I read that movie looked cool. They had a game of it, and I remember that. And you said Judge, and I said Judge Dredd, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I'm gonna get heat for this. Watch the Carl Urban one, just called Dredd. It's
the 2012 one.
Yeah,
that one's really good.
It was actually better than.
I forgot they did a remake with Dredd.
It's not really a remake.
Not really. Yeah, it's more like I can't even say it's a reboot because it's just the one.
Yeah, it's just kind of a one-shot movie.
Yeah.
Check it out though. It's a legitimately good.
Yeah. They did the same thing with Total Recall too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Tom Cruise. Well, no, that's Minority Report. I'm thinking
Total Recall was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's what it was, but they said remake.
This one was the remake was Colin Farrell, Jessica Biel.
Yeah, and the antagonist was Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, people hated that movie, but I think it's because they went in looking for Arnold Schwarzenegger and Colin Farrell instead.
Like, I better deal with Colin.
Yeah, and I don't get that at all. Bryan Cranston's performance in that movie was phenomenal.
Yeah, I think I read the book Total Recall, which is not called Total Recall. I can't recall the title, but it's the Colin Farrell movie version is a lot more. Is a lot closer to the book than
and I can see why that probably alienated people that saw the original movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's called "We'll Remember It For You Wholesale." That's the name of the story.
Yeah, and that's similar to the director's cut of Blade Runner, where because you shouldn't watch the director's cut version of Blade Runner because they changed so much stuff in it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they completely dropped the entire subplot with Decker thinking he's a replicant and everything.
Yeah,
they changed so much stuff.
Yeah, so
but
we've gotten way off topic.
Yeah,
Akuya wanted justice, and him and Hiyama don't have a bright future. Cosmo won.
Basically, and honestly, just kind of as a side point, if you watched Hiyama's behavior. It is very, very I think very, very typical of what you see in abusive relationships.
Oh, right. You can't live without
where all she does is excuses for why he does the terrible things that he does.
Oh, what's his backstory? You ain't got to his back. When you
Man. So let me. Yeah. So the good thing about the manga is they'll have guidance chapters, basically giving backstories for a lot of the fighters.
Yeah, it is dope.
I came across a couple of those.
Yeah. Akoya's and I keep forgetting her name.
Hiyama.
Her backstory is like she just inherited the company, and her cousin was like, I'm gonna help you out with all of it, and they like formed a relationship. Like it was some incest stuff. And then her cousin was going to kill her
for the company.
And Okoye came through and killed the cousin.
Well, wait, how did Akuya just show? Did he just show up out of nowhere?
I think he just like shows up. Like knowing him, he was probably doing research into the company and stuff too. But like he shows up and kills the cousin.
But the worst part of it all, Akuya, see, this is what his mindset is. Akuya was killing people. If you were related to somebody that was bad, he thought you was gonna do bad too. So he was killing family members that he didn't even know that were good, and he was like, "Maybe he just off somebody." He off people's cousins.
Yeah,
he was if you had like a bad relative, I'm like, I hope you didn't do nothing bad. You get arrested by him. He was coming after people that weren't even like doing no crime.
Man. Yeah,
he was just killing them. Like, if you're a bad seed, let me go find your cousin real quick. I was like,
if you're bad, the whole tree is bad.
Pretty much. That's what he was doing. Akuya was wilding.
Yeah, that was and honestly, I mean, he does make for a really fascinating character.
Yeah. Because he's like, even though he's a Kengan fighter, you want to root against him so hard.
Yeah, man. Like, oh god.
The best villains are the ones that you are like. There are two examples of good villains: ones that you absolutely cannot stand, and a villain that will make you agree with them. Those are the best villains.
He's got a really good point.
He's definitely got a really good point. I don't know. I see what he's trying to do, but as he was doing it, he was losing himself in the justice manner.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh.
That's why you can't stare into the abyss for too long.
Bro, this was stood into the damn fucking dark void.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually funny he says that, because the actual name of that episode that ends Cosmo's fight is called The Abyss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
Crossover.
Oh god. So we get to the next fight. This
next fight needs a little bit of background information before we get into it.
Before the fight. So Kazuo was thinking about the fight. Oma's fight was coming. He already knew he was fighting. So, and then Oma comes up to him. What are you doing? I like how he says his whole name. He always says his whole name, Kazuo Yamashita. He don't call him Kazuo.
Yeah. So the night before round 2 started, Ario and Ryan pulled up on Kazuo and Oma and was like, "Let's make this fight interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, I'll spare your son."
But he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Oswald hadn't, because he's been a shut-in, so he thinks
Kenzo.
Yeah,
that's his son's name.
He didn't know what Kenzo was doing, and the Curry family was chilling outside the house waiting for Kenzo to come out.
Oh yeah,
They was up there straight perving, and basically the company that he's against, that he's been running it. Kenzo's been running it, but apparently he's been stealing from the Kure family.
Oh, Undermount Incorporated?
Yeah. He basically manipulated the Kure, and they were like, "We don't take too kindly to that."
Yeah, no, you better get off, little homie.
Well, and the thing is, too, is this is twofold for Ario, the head of the Kure clan.
Yeah.
He wants Oma dead because Carl is in love with him.
And Oma ain't touched her. Oma been trying to run away from her, so
Man.
He wanted an excuse. He wanted an excuse to kill Oma.
Yeah.
This is even better. He was like, Oma. He's like, Ryan, I don't care. So pretty much Coswell's life's on the line. And I like how Oma was so true. He was like, and then before he goes out, he tells him, I haven't been a good father. And something.
Yeah, but I don't want my son to die. And he's like, please win, Oma. And Oma's like, I'm not gonna let them kill your kid.
Man, almost
Yeah.
true blue. Almost a true blue protagonist. If I ever call, he's a true blue. He's just like, I'm not gonna let him kill your son. I'm gonna win this. I was like, okay, go, Oma. So Oma's still fighting against himself about using the Nico style.
Yeah.
So,
And
my
bad. Like I said, this is where the anime and the manga really differ, but we'll get to that in the middle of the fight.
Yeah. So pretty much Orion was like, you ready to die?
Yeah.
Basically, he's saying pretty much you better use the advance. Use that move that you used against Ryo Hinaba.
Yeah.
Use the advance, but
and then the announcer starts the match, and then Oma just rushes Ryan and uses Iron Breaker on him a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, Kazuo was like, he's starting off. He's like, you gotta end this fight with Ryan quick, and you don't want to be another Moki G. Robinson.
Yeah.
It was later revealed is still alive, by the way.
Man.
Yeah.
Thanks to Hanafusa and miracle medicine.
Man.
Yeah.
And that juju juice. he gave him the best treatment ever.
Yeah.
We don't want a repeat of the Moki G fight. So Ryan pretty much, but it's not affecting Ryan. He's almost going in.
Yeah, almost going in, doing all these techniques, and then Ryan's like, all right, that's enough of that, and just like clotheslines Oma. And it's like, he basically took no damage from that entire onslaught.
Yeah, it was an interesting beginning of that fight because he goes in hard, and man, Ryan's just like, come on, really? Is this the best?
He kept telling him. He's
like, you better use that form you used against the Inaba style.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you. He kept telling him to go use the advance. He said, you don't use the advance, and he was saying in a cocky manner, if you don't use the advance, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, he says it's
He says it's so smug. So finally, Oma was like, Nico. He says himself, Nico, the Nico style is not working. And then he used the advance. And then Ryan was like, ooh.
And this is where the manga really differs. So Oma starts having the mental conversation again, but it's not with Nico. It's with the person that taught him the advance. And he was like, you better trade everything and go crazy on this Kure brat.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. That's what it.
See, now I'm gonna have to go back and read this part.
Yeah, that fight is phenomenal in the manga.
In the anime, they do not tell you where he learned the advance.
Yeah,
how to do it.
Yep, they're gonna go, and when you read, you'll learn more about the Nico style as the tournament progresses on.
Yeah,
it was a lot to that, and you'll see why Setsun is freaking obsessed with Oma. In other words,
but and the different thing. And then Oma does use the advance, but the different thing about this one is he goes max output advance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got more red.
Yeah.
Seki and Ryo.
Yeah, and his eyes get like darkened and everything. He looks like a Kure clan member.
Yeah.
That's what Kazuo said. He said this is not Oma no more. And pretty much he was losing himself in this fight.
And I didn't really think about it as I was watching it, but as I'm going back and thinking about it now, have you guys seen Trinity Blood?
I gotta actually finish.
I've only ever seen bits and pieces of episodes on Adult Swim.
I got the whole series. I'll let you borrow it. But the Abel Nightroad, the main character from Trinity Blood, has a thing that he has an ability that he's able to do where he can basically control how much of the output of his power he's putting out. And you don't really see him go 100% until way late in the series. And this is very, very similar to what Oma does right here, where he pushes it way too far.
And but the messed up part was it still wasn't affecting Ryan.
It wasn't enough. No.
It wasn't. Yeah. He was doing a little bit of damage, but
it started doing more damage to his base form, and then Ryan goes, okay, it's time for me to use removal myself.
Yeah.
And then basically Katahara was like, the Kure are made different. They're not like human beings.
They're bred for
They're bred. They're
Yeah.
bred for fighting. Like they literally live to fight.
Yeah, they do selective breeding amongst like people with good bloodlines and things like that.
It's basically eugenics if eugenics actually worked.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to become a Curry member. I'm like, yo.
But what was interesting about this too is I think during this fight in the anime, Ario Kure is watching from the rafters and is he's like, he can end this. He can finish this right now if he just
Yeah.
Kure techniques.
Oh, so Ario says that in the manga it's Agito that's like that. He's like Agito's like, have you noticed it yet, Oma? Ryan hasn't used a single Kure technique against you yet.
Yeah.
And Ryan's like, if I used the Kure technique, this fight would be over too soon. And I just want to fight.
Yeah, that was. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh. Like the fight progressed, and pretty much after that, Oma gets knocked down, and
he's
then
just getting slammed around. Too.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and then he has another flashback when Nico finally comes out and says,
no, and then Ryan cracks him in the chest, and he is like, that was a really good fight, Oma. And then Oma's on the ground, and his advance comes undone, and like Kiryu is in the stands screaming for Oma to get back up.
Yeah, I believe he's like, you can't take down God.
Yeah.
God.
And then Nico shows up, and he's like, I'm sorry to get involved with your fight. And like the difference in this is like in the anime, I know Oma is like, well, the Nico style didn't stop you from getting killed, and that's why I was like relying on the advance. And then in the manga, he's like, okay, I remember everything that happened. I know why you died, Nico. I know why you died, and now I remember who taught me the advance.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Oma's like, I can't beat Ryan no matter what I do. And Nico's like, dummy, that's what martial arts are for.
Yeah.
Believe in my Nico. He kept telling me, just believe in my Nico style.
Yeah.
And you will.
And he's like, it's not my Nico style anymore, it's yours.
Yep.
And then it's like, you just gonna keep developing it from here.
And in the meanwhile, all of this is going on. Kazuo is in the tunnel watching the fight, and he's begging, and he's like, you can't die. He's so upset. And the thing with Kengan is a lot of these fighters' relationships with the managers are not strictly business.
No, they're not strictly business.
And it's no better illustrated than it is right here. Because Kazuo is just worried about, if I lose here, not only is Kenzo going to die, but Oma's also going to die.
Yeah. And then Kazuo noticed that Ryan undid his removal, and it wasn't because he was prideful in that he could just kill him in his base form. He had taken too much damage and couldn't maintain it anymore.
Yeah.
And then that's when Oma really started turning up. And
so he's like, and then Oma gets back up, and then they start fighting again.
Oh yeah, because Kazuo runs out into the arena, and he's got Oma. He's like trying to shake him, and he's like, basically Oma's barely conscious, but he's like, go call your kid, go call your son.
That's all he said though too. When he got up, he beat that fight with Ryan. He was messing Ryan.
Oh yeah. So like in the manga, Oma just gets back up, and then he starts using the Nico style again, but the quality of his attacks were completely different than they just were.
Yeah, and of course, Kiryu is furious at this because he wants to see the advance. He doesn't want to see the Nico style
because he pretty much thinks that Nico is Oma's god.
Yes,
and that's why, like in the anime, he said he was like, this is my disciple. He said, this is not your god, kid.
Yeah,
and then he gets all weird, and the hair flows back and everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, basically, after that, it's all Oma at that point.
Yeah.
And Oma, if I remember correctly, Oma finishes it off pretty quick after this.
Yeah. So Oma hits him with a rush, and then hits him in the throat, which makes Ryan pass out for a split second.
Yeah.
And then he uses Ironbreaker Revolution, which I hate the way it looks in the anime. It's super more impactful in the manga, where like he's just like on the ground and there's like a little crater underneath his head in the anime.
Yeah.
In the manga, it's a gigantic, like you see the ground rising up and everything.
Yeah. But either way, Oma wins this one, pulls it out, and this is when Kazuo goes to Iro Kure
Yeah.
and is like,
Yeah.
and that's when Iro tells him like, dude, I already called off the hit.
And then I like how Kazuo's like, you gonna try to kill me and blackmail me? I got something for you, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking mad shit.
Yeah, he was like, you guys are businessmen first and foremost. Like, if I leak this information that you would go back on your word after you told me that you wouldn't come after my son anymore, it would destroy your clan's business as a whole.
Yeah.
Hey, character development, Kazuo Yamashita. From beginning to now, what we seeing?
Definitely.
Man.
Also, one thing we didn't mention is Carla gets completely naked after Oma wins. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she could finish. Hey, he had support because everybody was saying, Oma, finish him off.
Yeah.
He had a hell of support.
But that's but to end this episode of the anime, because this is the last episode, this is where the anime ends until season 3 gets made. Kazuo he finally gets on the phone with Kenzo.
And was he okay? And
and there's a whole conversation there, and that's kind of scene for it, except for when Kaede kind of is yelling at Oma for eavesdropping on the phone call.
Yeah.
And that's completely different from the manga, where like in the anime, I know Oma just like goes off to get food. Like in the manga, that fight put Oma into a coma.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it puts Oma into a coma. Kenzo decides to get on a helicopter to come to the island.
Okay. But that is where the anime ends.
Yeah.
So I'm off the map right now. Like I said, I read three of the upcoming fights, which I think we'll cover next week.
Yes, I'm gonna have to read myself so I can take notes. The next fight, we'll talk about it next week and announce it. The Wild Tiger. I like how in the manga they show Wakatsuki get ready to fight, and he takes off his earphones. He was like, "All right, let's."
He's like, "Okay, time to go."
I said, "Yo, Wakatsuki's fighting," because I was waiting when I finally got to read it, and I was like, "Man, I wonder who's fighting next after Oma and Ryan." After I saw the anime. When I saw who was fighting, I said, and then I saw his opponent. I said, "Oh shit, he's fighting Julius."
Yeah,
bro.
Oh, here's another good tidbit too that I don't know is in the anime or not. So after Kuroki saw the Oma and Ryan fight, Kuroki's like, "You chose a good successor, Nico." And then
it's in the anime.
Yeah,
in the anime.
And then Akito is seething, and he's like, "I see. So you're Nico's heir."
Like a lot of people were surprised because he said, "You're not making a D block."
Yeah, because what's interesting is like how Agito knew about it, and then you find out that he uses indestructible. Like Agito has been using indestructible, and that's why all of those a lot of what Okuya was doing to him didn't do any damage at all.
No wonder, because he was getting hit, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the adamantine kata?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, from the Nico style.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because and that's another interesting thing too, is that like how like tied up into everything Nico Tokita is.
Yeah.
How everyone seems to know who Nico is.
Yeah,
everybody at least recognizes the Nico style.
Yeah.
So, but is that going to do it for us?
That's going to do it for us this week. Everett, bro, thank you.
Yeah,
and like I said, man, we gotta have you come back. We gotta have you come back because when he gets to When Tim gets to Omega,
I'm gonna need to get it. I'm gonna need to get it done before Thursday because Thursday's Thanksgiving, which means
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hung over for about the next week and a half.
Oh, we got arrested. Oh, we ain't got to the good. I told him the better fights. I think like the round two, round one was like preliminaries.
Yeah.
Round
The
two,
round 1 fights are kind of whatever. It starts picking up in round 2, and round 3 is amazing.
yes, I can't wait. I was like, when he gets to read the rest of the fights, I said, woo.
Yeah. So
I don't know what's in the anime.
Well, thank you, Everett, my boy. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, man. We will be recording again. Probably, it probably won't be Sunday. We'll probably next Sunday. I said we'll probably next Sunday.
Cool.
I'm gonna read. Like I said, take notes. We're gonna be reading up to. Tim's gonna do like we'll do like 30, cover like 30 chapters, maybe 25 hours worth of content. So we'll talk about that. And I'm glad we enjoyed. I'm glad y'all enjoyed this. I hope people in the chat enjoyed it. And check us out again next week. Like, share, subscribe, comment to the page. Justin Anime. Check it out. Check me out, y'all. I'm gonna be doing reviews starting Thursdays. So at 7 p.m. So I'm gonna be going live on that too. Yu Yu Hakusho is gonna be the first one. I'm doing Yu Yu. That's my favorite anime. Yu Yu Hakusho.
which I keep mixing up with Tenchi Muyo for some reason.
I don't know.
I keep doing it.
Everett, would you want to do Yu Yu with me? Because I was gonna get Esteban.
I actually can't remember much about Yu Yu because it's been so long since
Oh!
I did it.
Oh, Yu Yu. I watched Yu Yu so many times, much over. It's God.
I will tell you, Esteban would be the perfect partner.
That's what I told Esteban Rodriguez. You hear me? You gonna be on here, bro. You gonna be on here. But hey, man, bro, Everett, you have a good evening, my brother. Thanks again, man. Glad to have you.
You too.
And Tim, my
Yeah.
boy, let's close it out.
Cool.
Y'all have a good one, y'all. Like I said, like, share, subscribe to the page. Justin Anime. Check my YouTube page out. I'm gonna have more stuff coming. And probably have a t-shirt giveaway eventually soon too with my ugly face on there with my logo. Bye. Give out for free, y'all. Support the page. Peace.